So, I'm going to read a little section of this great book, which is by Linda Goodman. It's called Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. I've had this book for a while, and it goes through each of the signs and the different combinations. This particular one, I'm going to read about a Scorpio man and a Sagittarius woman, and she describes what that relationship is like or can be like. I once observed and overheard a meeting between a girl archer, that's Sag, and a man with a Scorpio ascendant, that's Scorpio rising. At the time that they were introduced, she was about 18 and typically believed that she was going to remain in that glowing chronological niche forever. He was soft-spoken and intelligent, perhaps 3 decades or so her senior, a quiet man with distinguished appearance who wore glasses and whose hairline was slightly receding. He was completely kind and courteous to her when they were introduced, but shortly afterwards she turned to her companion and whispered, "He's really proof of life after death, isn't he?" Then she exploded into peals of laughter, an appreciation of her own cleverness. Astrology often takes an amused, tolerant view of Sagittarians' ability to kill with a word. Often there are times when the frankness of Sag exceeds the boundaries of sensitivity and good taste, and can be described as nothing short of inhuman and indecent cruelty. Now and then, these archers need a slap of truth themselves, a sharp slap. A female Sagittarian who crosses the boundaries of good taste with a Scorpio male will find her romance has a miserable ending before the first chapter is ever written. Fortunately, most Sagittarian women are the kind whose Jupiter rulership causes them to spread more joy and sunlight than pain. And it's this type of Sag who can truly bless an eagle with her Halle Berry personality, touching honesty and generosity. Symbolized by the centaur, which is half horse, half human, she sometimes stumbles clumsily, sometimes glides gracefully into his life, trailing brightly colored streams of hope and optimism. Her contagiously cheerful smile flashes into the dark corners of his soul like a remembered song from a happier time and lights up his buried dreams, resurrecting them with the promises of new life, unless he locks her out. As pleasant and mild as he may appear to be on the surface, the eagle is a man of many brooding moods, inexplicable spells of depression and self-doubt. He may break her heart without meaning to when he refuses to be caught up in her enthusiasms, because this searching girl needs another human being against whom to bounce her bubbles of happiness, or simply burst and disappear into the air, or they simply burst and disappear into the air just when she thinks she's created them with enough strength to float around for a while, so she can watch their rainbow streaks as they change hues with each exciting idea. It's not much fun to blow bubbles with someone who won't chase them with you. The Sagittarian girl requires lots of traveling. She needs lots of pets and people around her. If she's denied a frequent change of scene or her animal and human companionship, she will become restless, a dissatisfied woman. Nothing can be sadder than the expansiveness of a Jupiter person being held captive. When the Sagittarian enthusiasm and gregariousness are confined or smothered through circumstances or restriction of any kind, the archer will sink into severe mental and emotional anguish, leading to despair, a very real danger to those people. Sagittarius must literally exist in an atmosphere of hope and happiness, or the spirit will die, and the health will be severely afflicted on all levels. To smack down this girl's friendly, optimistic outlook is an act of great unkindness. Unlike her, excuse me, the typical Scorpio man dislikes crowds of people, although he'll usually be kind to animals, barring some Jupiter or Neptune affliction in his nativity chart. He needs long periods of solitude and quiet, time to meditate and enter in the core of himself. He needs privacy. Naturally, this can cause conflicts between them. It's not, however, an insolvable problem. No problem is. He should make a sincere effort to curb his possessive urges and allow her to seek the bright lights, the changes of scenery and stimulating conversation she needs, rather than trying to keep her on a leash, as though she was a pet herself. Even real puppy dogs don't like leashes, and Sag is very much like a friendly puppy dog. Of course, it makes her happier if he's with her when she's socializing, but if it disturbs his tranquility, it's better they allow each other the right to retain earlier individual lifestyles without feeling that they must force them to overlap. He needn't worry that she's being unfaithful to him when she's out walking the dog, riding her horse, chasing deer with a camera, or roaming through the woods alone. A strange peace descends upon her when she's close to nature, and the solitude he needs so much that she rejects herself would be as healing to her spirit as it is to him, as it is to his, if she'd allowed it to be. Since Scorpios like to mediate mysteries, the eagle might ponder over the use of the word nature, as in human nature. The reason this is the word used to describe the true inner essence of a person. There's much food for thought in contemplating word games. As for other men, the typical Sag isn't likely to carry on a secret affair. Secrecy is Scorpio's department, not hers. If she ever felt like she was falling out of love with him and falling in love with someone else, she'll probably pour out her troubled feelings to him before he himself even suspected anything was wrong. Since Scorpios are by nature suspicious, also uncannily perceptive, and know nearly everything about everyone close to them before they know it themselves, you can see how quick she can be to speak the truth. It's quite a feat to beat a Scorpio to the punch of any kind of knowledge. The one thing that will cause a Sagittarian woman to fall out of love faster than anything else will be boredom. Whereas the eagle stops loving only after he's decided his partner is no longer worthy of his devotion because she has in some way not measured up to his ideal of strength of character. Scorpio does not admire weakness or people who give up easily. He may have compassion for losers, but he only respects winners. In the beginning, at least, there should be no boredom between these two during their sharing of physical intimacy. In this respect, her frankness can be a shining virtue. Her sexual expression of love as open and honest as such feelings are meant to be. And this is a powerful emotional magnet to a Scorpio. He'll eagerly respond to her fiery passion, just as she'll respond with sincere and flattering interest to the varied facets of his always slightly elusive sexuality, which fluctuates from gentle affection and tenderness to intense sensuality. But But if the luminaries between their birth charts are square or opposed, she may thoughtlessly make a critical remark immediately before, during, or just after their physical closeness, which pounds like a hammer on this man's trembling sensitivity. In return, he may retaliate with a sudden coldness and disinterest that causes her to feel both unloved and undesirable, bringing on a scene of tearful reproaches, for she won't hold her frustration inside. As a fire sign, she's capable of being consumed by the torturing flames of jealousy and may angrily accuse him of being in love with someone else when he's hurt her by one of his spells of sexual passivity. Probably not. The sense of honor is as strong in him as the sense of honesty in her, and it's a rare Scorpio that can live a lie. If they talk it over, they'll uncover the real reason for their tension and be surprised to discover what a small wound, easily healed, it really is. She's always willing to talk it over, but he may pout and brood, keeping his feelings bottled up, which is the worst thing he can do with this woman. Also, the worst thing he can do in relation to the churning and boiling within himself beneath his mask of indifference. There's little use to talk, however, regarding money. Let her have her own to spend and then drop the subject. If he wants to save his and lock it in a safe, fine. If she wants to throw hers away, fine. Unless their moon signs and ascendants soften this area of difficulty, all the talking in the world won't bring their divergent financial outlooks together. They should both handle their own money as they did before they met. When they quarrel over anything and stop speaking for a few hours, the situation will be much harder on gregarious Sag than on the Eagle. Scorpios are more or less used to being alone, and you get good at being alone when you've had enough practice. Still, loneliness, even for brief periods, is not a happy feeling. The Sagittarian woman is pretty predictable. Her explosions of temper, her impulsive generosity and forgiveness, her serious philosophical moments are all easy for the intuitive Eagle to anticipate, but she feels far less secure about his emotions. Dealing with Pluto is rather like coming into a yellow stoplight when you've been daydreaming and you try to guess whether it's next going to turn red or green. She'll never fathom his silences completely. His yellow traffic light stages will always puzzle her, for he is water and she is fire. But this is a 2 to 12 vibrational influence, so he will be learning more from her than he'll ever admit, while she finds an unexpected tolerance for his moods, eternally springing from somewhere within herself, originating in a deep well of karmic memory. This is a man who knows how to will and imagine things into existence if he wants them intensely enough. And this is a woman who needs a goal, something to strive for, to look forward to, tomorrow, next week, or next year. Her enormous capacity for faith harmonizes beautifully with his vast reserves of willpower, so that together these two can make anything happen they desire deeply enough and long enough, including permanency in their love for each other. Then all lights will be green for go. Wow, Ashe, it's beautiful. Okay, so those are the pages that I read for this evening. So if you're a Scorpio man and you're interested in a Sagittarius woman, there's a little bit of insight for you, okay? And vice versa, if you're a Sagittarius woman and you're involved with a Scorpio man, and it could be Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun sign, or Scorpio moon, as it could be Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun sign, or Sagittarius moon. But if you want more insight and you know your moon sign is different, this book has all combinations of the 12 signs. So, and then, you take some from some places and some others from others, and then you'll have a better picture of what your relationship may look like. So I recommend this book again, Linda Goodman's Love Signs. And I'll be talking to you real soon.